Welcome to Not Charged Cinema. I'm Zach.
And I'm Pepper.
And the last time is now. This is the last time ever and the last time tournament ever to face John Cena as his final opponent. We're going to figure out who that's going to be. And yeah, it's. At first, I felt like, oh, that's a cool, interesting kind of concept kind of thing because it's like, oh, all these people that it could maybe be, who could be his final opponent,
Yeah.
and you could create some excitement and stuff potentially. But yeah, we were coming up. We decided to come up with some of our predictions of who could be in there, what made sense to us of who could be John Cena's last opponent. I think we went more based on that than
Yeah.
maybe tournament format in general. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think we ended up going with five NXT guys, 10 of the current roster, and then five because when John Cena announced this, he kind of said that it didn't have to just be people that were currently signed to WWE or in WWE. So we also did like five kind of outside people and then a few honorable mentions.
Yes.
Uh, but one thing to mention is that we have already seen the first four people that will be in this, so we did not include those in our picks, even though I think there are a couple that we maybe would have put in there
Yes.
otherwise if we hadn't known them.
Yes. So those would be we have Shinsuke Nakamura. I believe will be taking on Damian Priest in one of the matchups, and I don't see either of these being Cena's last opponent. Maybe if Shinsuke was like just joining the roster, like back when he won the Rumble, if they were going to push him. But at this point in his career, and I think Damian Priest, he's already been world champion. I don't think either of these need that or will get it.
No, I don't think so either. And I'll just say these, if I was putting a list together initially, neither of these would have made my list, I think, to be
Yeah,
in
I,
this tournament.
I might have predicted that Damian would make the
Yeah,
tournament just
yeah,
because he's a big name, but would not be my personal pick to be definitely in the later stages of the tournament for sure.
right. That's true.
And then the other two announced were Rusev
Yeah,
and Sheamus. And I think this is a step up from those other two just because these two do have history with John Cena. I remember being upset when Sheamus was new in his career and beat John Cena for the championship in a tables match. I'm like, that guy, that random guy who's just new to the scene, did that. And I remember it to this day. And I think he's extremely popular now. And I
hmm
think that's a match a lot of people would like to see. But since he's probably also nearing the later years of his career, I don't know if he will end up getting that match. And kind of Rusev too is kind of up in the air because he just came back. I don't know what their plans are for him either. But I'm glad both these guys are in the tournament. They hopefully we get some sort of like interaction between the contestants and Cena and can see them with him.
yeah,
Um,
that'd be
but yeah,
good.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I think yeah, these two I probably would include if I was putting together a 16-person tournament.
Mhm, yeah.
Um, assuming depending on what I could get for outside
Yeah.
talent, I
Yeah.
think these ones would definitely make it because yeah, I think another thing we did was not include people that have faced him. Um,
Yeah.
so like Randy Orton,
Yeah.
Logan Paul, AJ Styles, CM
As
Punk,
much as we
like
would
ones
all
that
want,
make a lot of sense.
as much as we would all want Logan Paul to get another match with John Cena, we decided to hold back.
Exactly. But
Yeah,
yeah, these
overall,
ones, yeah.
those four not that exciting because we hear, oh, people who aren't in the company. Oh my goodness, we're thinking there's going to be like four of those or something. They're going to be huge names, but so far, and maybe they don't even know who they're going to be able to get. That's very possible, but it's pretty safe pick so far. So I hope they mix it up more and have some more shocking names announced. But it's a really weird way to do it if you are having someone return for a big moment to announce them for a tournament instead of just showing up in a big moment.
Yeah, and I think we kind of yeah, we were talking about this a little bit more when we were discussing who we wanted to put on this list and as we were thinking about it, that's why we kind of had to just be like, okay, who could just be his final opponent versus
Yeah,
necessarily sometimes making sense in this tournament because as fun as it sounds at first, once you actually start thinking about it, it's like If it's a surprise person, then they have to be in multiple matches now. So it's
Yeah.
not like, oh, they just go straight to facing Cena.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I think as we thought about it, I don't know that I 100% love it. I feel like
Yeah.
this could have been better maybe earlier on. Like,
Yeah.
who could be his, it obviously changes everything in the story. Looking back, I have been disappointed by this last run. He's had some good matches, but outside of that, like story wise, I don't know that I've loved it.
Yeah.
I think if they would
No.
have maybe built up a tournament around like, oh, who's his final WrestleMania opponent or something, if he hadn't been
Yeah.
going for the belt or something, um, then I think it could have worked a little bit better there. But
Yeah.
for this, it kind of feels a little weird, especially when you are teasing potential people
Yeah.
outside.
I
I
mean,
just don't
yeah,
know how that works.
because they
We'll
announced
see.
these in like a pre-filmed, just a little video package. Oh, coming up on SmackDown, we have. I mean, like that's not where you're gonna say, "Oh, this massive name is gonna return after 13 years
Right,
next
right,
Friday." It's a
right. And
round
then
one match.
I think that was my problem with it too, is that now, like, yeah, I thought in my head when they announced the tournament, like, oh, okay, so we're just gonna kind of get like, they're gonna say, oh, one of those matches is coming up next. So at least like the first round, you don't know,
Yeah,
and it kind
that's
of is
true.
like, oh, at any given moment, it could be someone, whoever. But then I can
Yeah,
also see like, well, you don't want people to think that, and then it's
yeah.
Sheamus and Rusev, and then people are like, well, sure, I like him enough, but that's
So maybe
not
they will change it up with
crazy
how they
name.
do it and change up the
Yeah,
format. It
yeah,
might make it a little predictable if they're like, "We're not going to tell you who's in this match."
it's true.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But those should be some banger matches at the very least.
Yeah.
Then we are moving on to five NXT stars, and this one kind of wrote itself by how little we know about the NXT roster and the few that we have seen or know about a little more, or
Hmm.
just being the top stars, being a champion. We have Ethan Page here, and this is the North American champion. I've wanted him to come to the main roster because I've heard a lot of good things about him being a great heel and just being main roster ready. I forget he came from TNA or AEW. I'm not sure. Probably AEW for some reason is in my head, but you just look at him and you're like, oh, this guy is just a character that John Cena would have to teach and beat some respect into. And I don't know how old he is. I assume decently young, so I could see him being the future, one of those great heels for the next decade. Hopefully, in my head, what I built up, I don't really have much experience with him, but for that reason, I feel like he could be someone who would want that thing to hold on to, like I was Cena's last match, and just hold it over everyone's head for his entire career.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, I probably know about these even less than you do. But yeah, I know a lot of people have been or were excited when he showed up on NXT or was involved in storylines on now as obviously the champion. So
Yeah.
must be at least somewhat decent.
Yes. And then another one. We have Trick Williams, who was recently TNA World Champion, and I think he's been in NXT for a long time. I think I've heard people saying, "Oh, he's coming
Yeah.
up this year. He's coming up to the main roster." Then he hasn't, and then he hasn't, and then he hasn't. And yeah, I assume he's also going to be one of those future players for the next decade for WWE. And I
Yeah, he
don't
was
know.
involved in that triple threat
Yeah,
match,
the
right?
triple threat. You may see
That
some other competitors from that triple threat at Stand and Deliver.
and it might be all me because I don't watch much NXT. Even I probably should because I hear like some of their like pay-per-views or whatever you want to call them shows or bigger shows are have usually have some decent stuff on them. But yeah, I'll spoil it. Maybe the three and the triple threat at Stand to Deliver were all in there because I thought, wow, this is an amazing, amazing match. It might have been. I think for the kind of WrestleMania weekend, I would say it could have been a top three out of all
Yeah,
matches.
I think people were saying, yeah,
Has a chance.
like the three triple threats. So you had the this one, and then you had the Punk and Rollins and Roman, and then you had the three women there just kick off the night too. They're like triple threats are the way to go. Why don't we all only have triple threats?
Right. And yeah, I didn't feel like any of the competitors in this and that one were weak either. It wasn't like, oh, there's two
No.
obvious like stars, and then there's kind of the one.
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah.
didn't feel like that to me at least.
And possibly
Patrick.
speaking of those stars, it is not one of those. This is Ricky Sinks or Ricky
Oh
Short.
wow, wow, throws me off.
Throws you off. I don't know. I don't really. I haven't watched him, but I don't buy into him. I look at him. I'm like, oh, this is what some New Jersey Shore guy. I don't take him seriously. Definitely not to be the one to end up dethroning Obafemi, who was apparently a very dominant champion. That was shocking to me when I heard that
Yeah.
news, and I'm not even really invested in that, but it felt wrong. And he must have something to him, but since he is currently champion, not too long, I don't think he would end up being the one just for that reason. I think he has more to do down in NXT, but not much down there that we know of. So the current champion is probably one of the better ones, and I could see him definitely being in the tournament for that
Hmm.
reason.
Yeah, I agree. I could definitely see, especially both the champions being in the tournament. I think that'd make a lot of sense. Um, but yeah, I don't got much to say about him either. But I think it's another one that a lot of people were excited when he showed up as well.
Yeah, and let's bounce on to the next one with a bouncy Javon. I don't know how he bounces so much. I know, like, oh, it's a gimmick, he's bouncy or whatever, but like he really does get a lot higher than anyone else jumping off those ropes or being thrown around. And I didn't really don't know how he does it. I I don't think this is Cena's final opponent, but
Yeah.
I think he could definitely be in the tournament to just show more talent, show what's coming up, show who's going to be a big star in the future. And I think he could definitely maybe be like I think I forget if he did answer an open challenge for Sami Zayn's thing. He might have.
He might have.
Feel like
Someone
he
did.
did, but he feels like someone who could get a push right
Yeah.
on entry. But I don't know
Yeah.
about John Cena's last opponent.
Yeah, maybe he's not, but
Doesn't
yeah, I
fit
feel
that
like
character.
the NXT is a little bit harder for me to
Yeah,
kind of know exactly who would actually face him. I think it'll
yeah,
be our last guy here would be the most likely to actually face John Cena.
yeah.
I think any of them could be in the tournament though.
Obafemi. Why would Obafemi be the one, Zach?
He seemed like more of the I don't know ground and pound kind of
Mhm.
guy, kind of the dominant force. So he seems like he could actually have a chance against John Cena. Not that John Cena couldn't be beaten by more of a high flying kind of athlete, but um, I don't know. I'm trying to decide if John Cena's final opponent is more likely to be a smaller guy or a bigger guy. Don't know what I
Ooh.
think about that.
Yeah, I don't know. And then if it is the big Obafemi, I think he is the most likely so far, even considering the ones that are announced. I could definitely see him being the one, and Cena's got a long history of going against the big guys. How is he going to lift them? How is he going to deliver the AA? And um, I don't know, but then it's like he has to beat the giant, right? To end his career. Does he just fall to the giant? Because I would think they would want to protect Obafemi, and not that
Right,
losing to John Cena and John Cena's last match is burying you. It's quite a push, but
right.
um, I would think I would think he would want to win. They would want Oba to win.
Yeah,
But then I don't know. That goes kind of against John Cena's whole career, fighting the big guy and losing. I guess he lost to Brock Lesnar, so
that's true.
there's
He
that.
just got dominated by him as he always does.
But yeah, I think that's probably the best one so far.
I would agree.
And we will move on to some main roster fellas, who that aren't Sheamus, but and ooh, The Miz, one of his rivals. I think that just and maybe he doesn't want to fight someone that he's fought before, like has history with. Maybe this is all about making a new star, but if you are going for someone with history, this is one of the biggest ones remaining.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of a shame. He fought a couple of his opponents this year multiple times, and I'm like, yeah, I really wish he could have given the Miz that one more match. I don't know that their match would be the greatest at their current
That's
ages
true.
and abilities, but uh, I don't know. It just kind of is more of a farewell kind of thing. That's where I'm like, yeah, I don't know if he'd really want this to be his last match, but I think The Miz
Yeah.
should be in it, and that way, you can go back. I don't know what they're gonna do during these matches. If they're gonna, if people have had history with John Cena, if they're gonna kind of go back and look at video packages of that, because I think
Yeah.
if you are going to do that, then it would be good to have someone like The Miz, at least in the first round. Doesn't have to
Yeah.
necessarily even get past that, but um,
Yeah.
and you can kind of, at least show these people's history with him.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe he gets eliminated, complains, gets a match with Cena on one of those. I don't know how many he has, what, 4 appearances left? I think he's got a couple Raws, his last match in Survivor Series. So maybe on one of those Raws, Miz is out already and wants his match, and maybe they get it and do it there. I'd like to see it, but yeah, the match
That's true. It'd
quality
probably be better
wise,
for it too, because then you could do it short. You could have a short
yeah,
thing.
yeah, match quality wise, probably not the match that I would want, but we'll see. And then Carmelo Hayes, kind of feuding with The Miz right now. Wouldn't be surprised if they match up in the tournament. I think they're
Right.
um, very, very likely, actually. And this is kind of like one of those NXT guys, just the future. I could see, although he's kind of a babyface now that he's facing The Miz. So I don't know if it works as well. I feel like maybe he should have a
Uh,
little bit of ego if he's fighting John Cena, and maybe he's not totally babyface, but I think
I
they're
feel
trying
I
to
feel
push
like
him that way.
his final opponent could be a babyface. I
Okay,
think it works in this case. I think
okay,
it could
but
work.
I
Then it's more like
see
a respect match.
that's true. That's true, but I see Carmelo as being more of a
That's
heel
true.
throughout his career.
That's true. He does come across as more of a heel from what I've seen of him.
Yeah,
So, and he does it really well. So
yeah,
that is kind of a weird thing if he's been heel and now he's supposed to
yeah,
be face, and maybe that could help turn him completely face.
yeah. Yeah, maybe that's why
Actually
they.
showing respect to John Cena throughout the whole match, where typically he'd let his ego get the best of him, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Although, there's no way The Miz would not interfere in that match.
It's true.
That's true, and maybe that's what we want. Maybe that's what we need. Ooh, the dog. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good
I mean,
one.
like, if you would have asked me early in the year, like before all the Vision stuff and Seth and all that, him getting injured and possibly who knows where things are going now with that, I would have definitely said Braun Breaker was like probably a pretty big percentage chance of
Yeah,
could be his final opponent.
yeah,
Uh, I don't know. I feel like with the recent stuff and kind of with that might hurt his chance of being the final one. But I still, this is one of the few people I'd pick if you're looking for someone that's maybe more of a up and coming talent. I think this could be
okay.
a top one for that.
Yeah, for sure. I think they call him future of WWE, future of WrestleMania main events. Um, I just don't know. Are they concerned about getting him into the Cena thing? He seems to have things going on, sadly, but I guess we'll see if he's announced for it. I don't know if anyone beats him. I don't know if anyone can beat him.
Yeah, that's just it. I don't know what would happen to knock him out. So that might be one thing that would make it so he wouldn't actually get in the tournament because I don't know that you want him to lose either. And that's where you start getting into these
Yeah,
things. I think with this tournament is like you want these top stars to be in there, but then you have to like beat all of them
yeah,
outside of one. So it's kind of a little strange, but
yeah, yep.
yeah.
Oh boy, if anyone needs something, it's LA Knight. Yeah,
And he might not be a young up and
no,
comer,
he's
but
not.
yeah, I think this could be really good for him. It's
Yeah,
just seems like he puts a lot into it and just doesn't quite get over the final hurdle.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This one also he also feels like someone that should have maybe faced him earlier in the year or something. I don't know
hmm
if it quite feels like final opponent, but I don't think I'd be overly upset with that. I think this
Yeah,
is mm, one of my top 10 or 15 probably
yeah,
that I wouldn't mind.
yeah. I could see that they teamed up, I think, a couple years ago and had a little tension between them. So I could see paying that off here. It seems weird. Like LA Knight is kind of has all of his character already formed. I don't know what throwing in Cena Ender does to that or how that
Yeah.
fits into his character. If it's just another slogan that he's gonna say. Um, but I'd like to see it. But like you said, I would have liked to see it earlier. And maybe have him be champion. I don't know why we didn't take this opportunity with the championship up in the air to give LA Knight a short run. He's already feuding with Punk. Just have Punk take the belt off of him then. Do something
All
different.
right.
Give something the fans
That's
want.
true.
Get a little taste of it and
That's true.
um, maybe give Cena at number 18. And then, ooh, now Drew McIntyre. Someone also not that young, but someone where his character, I mean, like, oh, he would just eat this up if he was the one to take out Cena to be his final opponent, and if he beat him, oh, I just his character has been remade so much over the last couple of years with this new heel persona. I would love to see what he does, maybe leading up to it if he is winning, going through that tournament, and afterward if he's able to beat John Cena. I think that would take him to new levels, and he's already in the main event.
All right. Yeah. I love Drew as a pick, especially like considering his recent like over the last year-ish, kind of all the L's that he's taken,
Yeah,
somehow continues to survive that. I think eventually here, though, he's going to need something.
yeah,
It's just feeling like it's kind of getting to the end of the rope of, oh, we can just keep beating him and he's fine. Like, yeah, he's a great character, but eventually people are going to quit taking that seriously if he just keeps
yeah,
losing. So this could be a good way to kind of just reinvigorate that and like, oh, I'm a nasty guy. I took out John Cena. Um, and yeah, I would love this one. This is a top five
yeah.
kind of pick of who I would pick, especially out of the main roster for
Mm,
sure.
yeah. Yeah. Sadly, just another one where it's like, is he too busy? Is he too
Right.
busy going for that? I guess if he wins the world title and can't do it because of that, I guess I'll take it.
That's true. And I think that's my other worry too, is putting him in this and I don't know that I want him to lose either.
Yeah,
Like who's
that's
he
true.
if he is in the tournament and doesn't win it all, who does he have to lose to?
That's true.
But
That's true. Ooh. Dirty Dom, dirty Dom. Ooh, I thought it out weeks ago. I'm just like, yeah, I was between this and another one as who I would want to be Cena's last opponent, and I would like Dominic to fight him, and you've suggested at Survivor Series. But now Rey Mysterio's back and kind of feuding with Dom, and I'm like, no, get out of here, Rey. Get out of here.
you waited all year to come back and ruin this.
We need it. The time is now. For Dom and Cena, they have to face each other. Dominic is just skyrocketing as this
That's
heel, and he needs the push. He deserves
yeah.
it.
Him facing Johnson, like it's a huge with especially since he has the Intercontinental Championship,
Yeah,
he could put that on the line. It would be such a huge missed opportunity by WWE if they don't have him face John Cena in at least one of those two matches.
yeah,
I don't know that it has to be his final match. Um, this is just putting him in here because I want him to face John Cena before
yeah,
John Cena's end here, and yeah, I still think. Hopefully, it'll just be at Survivor Series. We kind of chatted, and I kind of came up with a funny scenario, I thought, of what could happen, but the chance of that happening are almost zero, but I would laugh so hard if it did. Uh, but yeah, I want Dom to face John Cena in one of those two matches.
yeah, yeah. And maybe that would
For
humble
the title.
Dom.
For the title.
Yes, for the title, for sure. Get that. I mean, the Grand Slam. Grand Slam. How has John Cena never won that Intercontinental? He's just too big for it his whole career. But now Dom has raised that belt to the height to where John Cena even wants it.
But yeah, that's where too. Like if he faced him at Survivor Series and won the title, like then to me, Sheamus battling him
Yeah,
final and for the title too becomes a little bit more interesting, I think, to me.
that's
But
true.
you know,
That's true. That adds a whole new element. Ooh, and then maybe Gunther comes and wants his Intercontinental Championship back.
that could happen as well. And I feel
Ooh,
like I would have liked this idea earlier, but since he's been gone for a while, I'm like, I don't know that I love him returning and coming back. I mean, to me, then he has to beat him, which
yeah,
is fine. I guess I don't care if he loses or wins or whatever, but I'm just like, I don't know if Gunther gets much from that.
yeah. I mean, he already retired Goldberg. Maybe he is Gunther the Retirer. Maybe that becomes
True.
his gimmick there. But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
it is one of the most fitting ones. But again, I don't know. I'm struggling to imagine what kind of match that would be. It seems
I think
kind of
that's part of it
weird,
too.
not
Yeah.
very exciting in ring wise, because it might just be
Yeah.
dominance by Gunther.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe part of why I'm not as excited as, yeah, I just think of it as maybe another Brock Lesnar match, style match.
Yeah,
And I'm like, kind of liked the AJ match where it was two talented guys
yeah,
that could do all these finishing style moves to each other.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, I'm just like, I feel like John Cena's kind of been doing that in this kind of last half of the year, kind of doing all these
yeah.
moves. And when you
Mitch.
get some of these bigger guys, it's just a little bit harder to do
Yeah,
those.
yeah. Maybe Gunther could break out the jackhammer. Uh, oh, I'd love it. I
Oh,
would
he is
love.
going to come back and he is going to use the jackhammer as his new finisher.
Oh, that would be great.
Either way,
But yeah, yeah, it is interesting how it's less interesting, even though kind of this whole time he's been one of those top names. So that's a little
yeah.
sad, but
Yeah, yeah, and I think I would have liked it earlier in the year.
yeah,
Like
if this
another
was
one that I would have liked
WrestleMania,
earlier.
if this was the WrestleMania match when Gunther had the title and it was Cena instead of Jay or something, I think that would have been the perfect time to do
Yeah,
it.
I agree. I agree.
Ooh, Roman Reigns. Yeah, I mean, you think of Roman Reigns as the name, and it's like, well, always an option. He
Yeah.
is he's the head of the table. He's the biggest name in the company, one of for a decade now, and they've passed the torch probably about 20 times from Cena to Roman in their shared matches. But why not one last time?
Yeah, and this match could also suffer. Roman's kind of known for being kind of methodical, slow
Yeah,
in some of his matches, so this one could also suffer from what we just talked about a little bit. But for some reason, to me, it's way more exciting than Gunther. I don't know why.
yeah,
I don't know if it's just because of how big Roman has become over the last,
yeah,
his title reign. It's probably 5 years now. Um,
yeah,
it just feels a little bigger, but
yeah.
at the same time, I don't know that Roman needs it.
Yeah,
So I
that's
I don't know.
true.
But it's another one. I don't. How has he not faced Roman
I don't know. I don't
during
know.
this? I mean, how has he not faced him?
They have had so many matches, or a couple matches. I think a couple matches during Roman's reign. I would have thought they'd want to revisit, but that's just not been what the tour is about. No. Ooh, this is a good suggestion by you. This is one of my favorites now. Chad Gable.
Yeah, and this is I don't know. There's a couple things I like about this one. Is I think yeah, John Cena's kind of introduction match was against Kurt Angle,
Yeah,
and Chad Gable's kind of got a similar wrestling style to Kurt Angle.
yeah.
Well, not kind of. I think they're very similar.
They're
So
similar. They chant the Kurt Angle chant every time he comes
yes,
out now.
so I feel like that would be really good kind of bookends of his
Yeah,
career. And then just I think it could be just huge for Chad
yeah,
if they want to kind of actually push him to another level.
yeah.
I don't know. I can't ever tell. I don't know that WWE wants to, so if that's it probably never would. But I think this would be the perfect opponent because of that. Because I think, since Chad's a little bit of a smaller guy, but he's very athletic, you can probably do some more kind of cool stuff in the match.
Yeah.
He can take probably some bumps that someone like Gunther maybe can't take quite as easily, or it's not as easy for John Cena to perform on him. So I feel like he just fits like that perfect mold of someone that could face him and could win and could really
Yeah.
push him to another level.
Tap him out to the ankle lock. There we go. But yeah, that one, he feels like a guy who could be in a tournament. It's not, it is a slight return,
Hmm.
but not too much, not too crazy. And just being the way he is, this super training athlete, and kind of similar to when he was facing Gunther for that Intercontinental Championship again and again and again. And Sami Zayn swoops in and takes it at the end. So I feel like we were robbed of that satisfaction of finally triumphing, and I think we could build something similar here if he is kind of maybe a little more babyface again, and maybe going against some big dogs in the
Hmm.
tournament to get to that final match. I think they could make something real special, but only if they believe in Chad. If they don't, then it ain't happening.
I agree, 100%.
And then the last one for WWE here is Wade Barrett, currently a commentator, but some history with John Cena. And wouldn't it be great if they pulled his name out of that little uh, bingo ball fuller thing that they usually use for the Rumble, but are some reason using for this tournament? If Wade Barrett was on commentary and they pull his name out of that wheel, and he's like, I guess I got a match. Afraid I've got some bad news. I'm going to have to leave you guys at commentary and go win this tournament and beat John Cena in his final match.
Yeah, I think if he was ever thinking about coming back, if they were ever going to bring him back as a actual competitor, in-ring competitor, uh, I think this would be the perfect time to do it. But again, I feel like this is one of those strange ones where when it's a tournament format, it's a little bit weirder because then that means he has to go through other competitors.
Yeah,
So unless you're bringing him back pretty much full time into in-ring potentially.
yeah,
I don't know, but I love the idea of it with the history with the Nexus and burying him, um,
yeah,
holding a grudge all these years against John Cena. I think it probably is out of the people that haven't faced him yet. It was one of the bigger unfulfilled John Cena stories out there.
yeah,
So I think
yeah, probably.
out of like all these that we have even. So yeah, I
Yeah,
would not mind it.
yeah, I think
I
so.
actually like it quite a bit.
I do like it.
I've
I
wanted
don't
him
think,
to get back into wrestling, so it's
yeah.
probably just selfish more than anything.
Yes, yes, yeah. I don't know if he would. I don't. I think he'd probably be like eliminated in the first or second round, but I think it'd be nice to see even then. Um,
Well,
See that
yeah, especially if they
connection.
are doing those kind of, if they do some sort of packages kind of thing.
Yep,
Like,
yep,
oh, look what he did to the Nexus.
yes. Oh boy, is that? Oh, I thought that was John Cena with him on his shoulders, kind of the faded background image. I thought that
Oh,
was him
did.
receiving an AA, but I guess Wade has a similar move like that.
I was thinking the same thing. Well, what the heck?
Ooh, and another man that John Cena has treated maybe not so well in the storylines, and that is Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona. I guess I don't know all the history of this. Maybe you know it better. Did John Cena steal his girl in WWE?
Yeah, I feel like he was. I don't remember the story exactly, but I think Kane was also involved, if I remember right.
Okay.
And so John Cena was kind of like a friend with him or helping him, sort of. But then, like in this storyline, Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder ended up in a wheelchair, I believe. And John Cena takes his girl, lets him like be thrown off a stage, maybe gets drugged to hell. I don't remember. Um, just some crazy stuff that he allowed to happen, even though he's the face of the company. He's the big match John, and he just allows this to happen under his watch to poor Matt Cardona. And yeah, I think this one is one of the more likely ones because I think is he a totally free agent or is he in TNA?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Because
listed on.
currently,
Yes,
no,
we've
go ahead.
transitioned from WWE stars to outside of WWE, and it's on the TNA website currently as a
Okay.
superstar, and they kind of have a partnership with WWE. So I think if you're going to showcase one from outside WWE, I think this is definitely one of the top ones that is likely and also should happen.
Yeah, I 100% agree. This
Yeah,
one is one of the top ones that makes sense outside of the company.
yeah, yeah,
Because yeah, I would say a lot of the ones that we thought about, I'm like, they don't really have storylines with John Cena because they just never fought him in his career. Like some of the
yeah,
people from like AEW and stuff.
yeah,
Um, doesn't mean you can't face them, but it's I don't know,
yeah,
a little less interesting.
yeah. And then we have one more from TNA, and that is Joe Hendry. Yeah, this one, once you brought up the name, it's like, oh
He
yeah,
appeared.
yep, he appeared right into our list. And yeah, big name. He showed up to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania. So if they need to find a guy for a moment, they are willing to go to Joe Hendry. So I would not be surprised if he appeared in this tournament. And that's another one. Partnership with WWE. They've done it before. It fits. The shoe fits. I don't know if he's final opponent. He could be.
Yeah,
He
it
could be.
depends. I think if they were ever like going to fully bring him over, I feel like I've heard talks for a while, and it
Yeah.
just doesn't seem to be happening that he's brought over like full to the WWE roster kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think if they were going to, if that is happening anytime soon, then I think it makes a lot more sense
Yeah.
to really get people to know under or figure out who he is, learn who he is, learn about him some more.
Yeah.
For the non-internet fans, the non-TNA fans. But yeah, I think this is another good choice, especially in a tournament kind of format.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then we move on to an AEW star, the one that everyone wants. Kof. Except not under the name Kof. We want Edge back again. We want Edge back regardless, but for John Cena's final tour and possibly final match, and maybe possibly leaving AEW, maybe contracts will hold him there just long enough that it doesn't work out. But maybe, just maybe, they announce Edge for a round one matchup in this tournament, and that's how we get his return.
Yeah, and I feel like because it's a tournament, now it seems less likely to me. Even though with the tease that it could be outside superstar, I feel like this is the first person everyone immediately went to because I think this is what people have been asking for.
Yeah,
Is we need John Cena versus Edge one last time. And it makes a lot of sense. Even more than Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona. I
yeah,
feel like the Edge John Cena match. I think through the whole year, people have just been like, if there's any way they can get him to fight one more time, that would be awesome.
yes,
But now that it's in a tournament format, unless Edge is like just completely out of AEW, I just don't see them letting him wrestle in four matches. But I suppose that gives him the win. I mean, he's winning the matches, so they're not like letting him use a superstar and he's just losing or looking like a fool. Um,
yeah,
so maybe, but yeah, I don't know. I'd love this one. I'd love it, but then it also seems like he has to win. I feel like you can't just
yeah.
have him in the tournament. Otherwise, you're
That's true.
really, really letting fans down, and they will not be happy. I think. I
Yeah.
think.
That's true. I he would have to win it, but it's like it's almost so good that it's like it doesn't even matter that we know he's gonna win. It's just like there's that little bit of like, please don't actually screw this up. Please do have him win. So every match will have that little bit of like, there's no way they have him lose, right? There's no way they ruin this. And then he does win, and I think that's gonna be a huge pop every time if they are able to do that. But if they had announced some shocking name in the first set of four, and like it was just like really saturated, a lot of big names, a lot of shocks, and this was this larger than life tournament, I could
Hmm.
see it, but hope is going a little bit out, a little running out a little bit, but still a little bit maybe because who wants if they find out that one side of this AEW WWE wasn't willing to do it, and maybe some other parties were. Who wants to be that person that everyone's gonna hate forever? Get it
Holding
done.
back
I
the
don't
one
care
of the
what stories.
ultimate wrestling people, one of the ultimate of all times. It's like,
Yes.
oh, if Ric Flair wanted someone, are you going to say no, Ric Flair? You
Yeah.
cannot have your final opponent that you want. They would never. I just, yeah, who wants to be the company that says no? But it's their right, I guess, if they
Yeah.
have a contract.
Yeah.
It is
And
their
and if
right.
John Cena doesn't want Edge, he still has to have him. Dang it! I don't care what you want, John Cena.
I thought I saw something. I saw a post or something that showed like WWE had posted a video on their YouTube channel or something of highlights of John Cena and Edge.
Ooh,
They're
oh,
like,
they
interesting
can.
timing. I'm like, I didn't actually look to see if that was actually true that they did that or just
Ooh, that would be
typical internet just making stuff up.
that would be something. That would be something. If they're doing
And
that just to
if
get
you
the
do
hype,
do that, don't have him. That would be so much worse.
that would be. Oh, that would be bad. That would be bad. And another one from AEW we don't have here. It's Chris Jericho. A lot of talk. I think he's a lot more likely to come to WWE full time. Posted pictures with Kevin Owens, which he's not active currently, but definitely a WWE guy. So I just don't know if we see him. He has faced Cena a lot of times, but he doesn't pop into our head as a Cena history opponent kind of guy. So it just didn't really work out for us. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, that's kind of
I
what I thought. I'm like, and he's got to win a tournament and then face John. It just didn't quite feel right.
no. Where this is like this is the opponent right here.
Right. If we were doing like a Kevin Owens retirement
Yeah.
thing, like, oh, I don't have much left in me. They're saying my neck can handle one more match, kind of. Then that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, best friend. And then Kurt Angle. The last one here before some honorable mentions, because this is definitely not an honorable mention. This is a
No, not at
very
all.
legitimate contender. We had Chad Gable, but why settle for the new Kurt Angle when you can go back to the original Kurt Angle and perfectly bookend John Cena's career with a probably hasn't even been training or anything Kurt Angle, completely retired. But I don't
Right.
know that. He could be fit. He could be ready to go.
He could be. I mean, yeah,
And I'd love to see it.
he's been an Olympic athlete probably his whole life. So I mean, who knows what that is, even at his worst.
Yeah.
Maybe you can make something, but yeah, another. Yeah, who knows what the match would be like? But I
Yeah.
think a lot of people did not love Kurt Angle's retirement himself, so you can both send him off with maybe a great retirement. Could be a fun little thing, but I think this one is very, very unlikely.
Yeah. And
Less
it's
likely than Edge in my mind by quite a bit.
yeah, I think so. I think so. I think Kurt could make it into the tournament. It's similar to Wade Barrett, where
Yeah,
it's like it's unlikely, but it might be a nice little, hey, little send off to them. Just a little
yeah,
story there, a little heartfelt thing. And they wave goodbye and kind of do their own little farewell in there as well, maybe. But
yeah.
yeah, probably not going to be seen as opponent. But three more mentions, kind of in the way of Kurt Angle, more legends, Hall of Famers that might come back for this match. First up, we have The Rock, the final boss, which if they had put anything more into the story of the heel turn of John Cena, I would think this could be a little more likely to be a
You
matchup
know,
in his final year, but I don't know if the final boss is going to show up and say, I'm entering this tournament to get a match against John Cena. But you never know. He could just come in and say, You didn't earn that match. Throw out this tournament. He's mine. Could happen.
that's true. Leaves it a little unresolved, so I don't know that I love that, or even if he's like, oh, that was my champion fighting for me, and he
No, yeah.
sells me the right to fight John Cena because I've got so much money. I'm gonna pay him off. But yeah, it would it could be a good opponent, final opponent. I think it's more likely than Kurt Angle, but
Yeah.
I just don't know if it works storyline. Kind of a weird,
Yeah,
unresolved kind of thing to happen.
it
Because
is.
yeah,
But wouldn't that,
if he's gonna do it, I see him like going past or like ignoring the tournament and what happened and just
yeah.
taking it. I don't see him coming and actually going through a tournament.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But it would be fitting for how they've booked this storyline so far.
That's true.
And then another one of his legendary opponents, similar to Edge, Shawn Michaels, just that kind of in our era growing up, although Shawn Michaels was in an era before that even.
He was.
And I mean, people wrestle at his age still. I mean, Kurt Angle was wrestling pretty late. John Cena's wrestling pretty late. Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels was the star when he did come back for that tag team match. That was just a disaster. But he was kind of, I think the only bright spot in there was, hey, he can still go pretty good. So Shawn Michaels coming back, moving from NXT to take this tournament, or maybe maybe just one round or something. Maybe it's just something weird, something crazy. That's what we do, bring all these retired people back to send them all off.
Right.
I don't know. It's something that would be interesting. It's,
Yeah, I like it and because of that. But then, like, yeah, to me, I don't see him running a gauntlet through a tournament. So then I'm like, oh, then I'd all of a sudden put AJ Styles in there and give us the match we wanted
yeah.
several years
Ooh.
ago, AJ versus Shawn one last time kind of thing. But
Ooh, that would be good. That would be good. I want to see that match. If we might be booking AJ Styles' retirement tour. We might do a video about that, how we would do it over the next year, and we might have to put Shawn Michaels in there
yeah,
somewhere.
maybe this is where Shawn Michaels gets back in the ring here.
Yes,
Goes
he's
on one
still
more run.
warming up. Start training again. And then finally, the last one, the one maybe who has the most beef with John Cena, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Yes, and yeah, I don't know that WWE would allow it at his age, his health, but I mean, come on. Who has the most to gain from beating him and proving once and for all who the greatest champion of all time is? Now that he took his title from him, his number
Yes.
of titles from him. Um, I think that's an interesting story. Maybe if Rick was a bit younger, it
Yeah.
makes a little more sense, is a little more likely, but it's a fun little idea. But this is another one again where I feel like a lot of these legend ones just don't really make as much sense when you're talking tournament versus,
Yeah,
oh, we are going to have a random mystery final opponent.
that's true. Just imagining like Ric Flair and Damian Priest in round two or something.
That's true.
Doesn't work as well. But it would be interesting. And yeah, that I mean he wrestled till he was like, I don't
That's
even know
true. I
how
mean,
old, and
it's what, only
he's
a year or two ago, so I think he's wrestled more recently than some of these other guys, so never know. Never
not
say
ever
never.
never say never in wrestling.
Yes, but yeah, let us know in the comments below who you predict will be in this tournament, who you think will be his final opponent, and yeah, any other predictions you have on this? Will this be John Cena's actual final match, or will he do one more
Will he
at the
pull a
next
Ric
WrestleMania?
Flair?
Will he pull a Ric Flair? But otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one, and as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on the WWE popcorn.
Oh, yeah, we got